day for you to note. It's a day for World Day for Safety and Health at Work. That's amazing, right?
Yeah,
World Day for Safety and Health at Work.
exactly.
You are here for me today. Welcome. World
Thank
Day
you.
for Safety and Health at Work. And I have a guest who's a safety expert who's going to teach you. So bring out your pen and paper, your jotters, because you're going to learn on the Money Crossfire show today. And we're going to talk about security at work and health at work and possibly at home too.
Yeah, most
Yeah,
likely.
we can touch your homes too and what you should do, and how you should watch out for signs and symptoms, what you should have in place. I've got my guest here in the studio today who's joining me right now. His name is Waliyu Adegoke. Thanks for coming
Exactly.
in.
Thank you very much.
He's a security expert, very long, certified master trainer and safety advocate. Welcome to the show. We're live on Facebook and YouTube right now, so go over there and watch the show and leave us your comment. If you're joining on Twitter, remember to use the hashtag NigeriaInfoMCF so that I can get your messages and read them. I'll open the phone lines in a bit. You should have those numbers saved. It's 0700 993 993 993 for male callers. And for female callers, we've got a line for you because we'd love to hear from you, and that's 014657 190. Let's get to the conversation. What's the importance of this day? What does it talk about? Why do we have a day talking about safety and health?
Yeah, thank you very much. If you look at in the past few years, there has been serious issues that has really affected the world. Let's put aside the issue of COVID-19 now. We have a lot of incidences that have happened in the past. For example, if you look at the gas explosions that has happened in recent times, all these things has really not only affected human in terms of lives, but also cost us a lot of millions. So when we're talking about health and safety, it's very important to celebrate a day where we take conscious action in order to prevent accidents from happening. Because when that consciousness is not there, definitely we will believe that, because there's this mindset that what will happen will happen. We have that mindset that whatever I want
What will be, will
what
be.
to be will be, and that mindset has really affected people on not understanding what health and safety really means. So there's this conscious step, and part of those conscious steps is to understand what to put in place, and you can't understand what you put in place if you don't know. So a World Safety Day is to create that alertness. A day, every day is a safety day. We need to be safety conscious at all time. But and there must be a day where we remind ourselves, see, safety is not supposed to be taken with levity. And that is why we have this World Safety Day for this year. Thank you.
So I'm expecting that many people would say, well, government has not done this, has not done that, has not done this. These things we'll be talking about today, confirm for me, are things that my listeners themselves can do.
Okay.
Right? Is that it?
To an extent,
Or do you think it's mostly government related? Or are there things individuals can put in place?
there are government responsibilities and there are individual responsibilities. Everybody has a role to play, and there's where, and between these people is a safety professional, because a safety professional understands the needs of the people and understands what the government should put in place and what the individual will put in place. For example, as a safety professional, we do accident investigations, we look at incidences, and we do research on them. So we discover trends and pattern. When we talk about trends and pattern, that is those things that leads to an accident to happen. So when we discover these trends, we will be able to suggest, recommend corrective actions to prevent them from happening. Let me give you an example.
Okay.
We have. Let me talk about poor drainage system. We look at it like, okay, it's causing discomfort in the environment, but it goes beyond that. As a safety professional, we analyze it, we look at what's the cause, and we look at what are those things that we can put in place. Let me analyze it for you. When we talk about poor drainage system, there are gutters everywhere that is not moving, stagnant. The waters are stagnant. Now, at the end of the day, the water, when they are unable to flow, they go to the road. They stay on the roads, and with time, it degrades the road. The road gets spoiled. Now, when the road gets spoiled, definitely there will be issue of traffic. Now, it has affected traffic. People get stressed. Number two, when there is water on the road, when the road is bad, there's possibility of having an accident. That's another angle to it.
And you spend more to fix your car.
And you spend more to fix your car, and at the end of the day, the government will still spend more to come and repair those roads. So now, the question is, as a state professional, we already identify these issues. Now, how do we correct them? Number one, we tell the government, see, this thing that is blocking this drainage, that is causing this things, let us find a way to clear them. That is, what are those things that is inside those gutters? If you look at 90% of, 99% of time, 90% of time, what we have there are plastics. Plastic bottles, PET bottles, everywhere. So now, Nestra did a very good thing. There's this extended producer responsibility that was established to inform. Let me use the word inform, because enforcement is still we still have a long way to go in enforcement, to tell producers of plastic material that use packaging, anything plastic, see, you have a responsibility to take these things away from the road, from drainages, from the environment, because Nestra has to do with national environmental standard regulation enforcement agency. So
we have something that tells them that they have that responsibility.
They have that responsibility.
So if they have that responsibility, what are we doing about it?
That is why I'm going to that issue of so that's why we have this World Safety Day, to create that alertness, to create that active consciousness. Now there's a responsibility on the government to ensure that that thing is being enforced completely. It's and there are ways that they can go about it. So for example, like I do tell myself, like if I have the opportunity to be in the position to handle such things, what I would tell these plastic producers is that we give you so date to clear these things. If the government should pick these things from you,
you're going to pay.
You are going to pay for each of them for the price of that. The price of, like for example, let me say a bottle of drink now costs 120 now. Okay, if you are going to pick that one plastic for you, are going to pay 120. So if you do that, they know the cost implication and they will do whatever it is in their power to take it off. But these things, the enforcement level is still very low. Lagos State is really trying, and it's only Lagos State in the whole state that we have Lagos State Safety Commission. That is a body set aside to talk about, to address issue of safety.
I was just going to ask you that. I mean, professionals like you, do we have them in government? You know, these issues draw around policies, around being able to think ahead at how one decision or action right now can cause multiple, have multiple effects. Like you've given an example of a drain that's filled causes so many things, but just because the drain is filled.
Yes, sir.
And now the rains are here. And, some people don't have a place to throw their waste. People still throw their waste in the drains. Exactly. So it goes round.
It goes round.
Now, in your work and with your expertise, do you think the government really listens to professionals like you? Do we have people in government who are professionals, and do they listen to them?
No. I personally, I used to differentiate between documentation, bringing regulations, averaging regulations, and enforcement.
Yeah.
When it comes to design work, I used to use the word design, like we want to make everything look beautiful. We create documents, we create the policies, we create regulations. The government is doing that. For example, we have a revised national policy on occupational safety and health that was revised 2020. That policy goes a long way to addressing a lot of issues in Nigeria. We have the DPR. DPR have a good documentation. Look at the recent. See, when you're having accident that is repeatedly happening, like explosion here,
like we've had in Lagos multiple times.
And there should be this thing. It calls for serious concerns. But that's why we have the safety expert. But like you said, in the government, to an extent we have. But when it comes to the enforcement part, is not really taken, because if it's taken seriously, things will have really changed. So it is the result, the outcome is visible. The result is visible to tell us that, see, this thing is working or not. For example, I was telling you that we have good documentation processes. We have the Workers' Compensation Act. We have the Factory Act. We have a lot of regulations that address health and safety. Under the Ministry of Labour, we have the Department for Health and Safety. Even though I personally have an issue with that, because I believe that there should be a separate ministry for safety itself. Because here in Nigeria, where we have a high population of people, a very dense population of people, and a lot of issues happening, we need to have a separate ministry that addresses safety separately. You get so. Documentation-wise, regulation-wise, as developing regulations, standards,
design. I like how you put it as design. And when you're making a design,
everything is in place, everything is there. But now enforcement, that is where the issue comes into play. So, and those designs can be done by anyone. Yeah. Definitely, our experts are in government to see this is what to be done. So we are doing our own part to tell the government that this is what to be done. I have a lot of my mentors that I know that are involved in establishing health and safety procedures. But when it comes to enforcement, it's the government
that has to do that.
has to do
Before we
that.
go on to break down these safety, and health issues, what do you think it costs the government? When you have, I love the word design, where you have these beautiful designs, policies, laws, regulations. In fact, many times we celebrate these matters. When there's a new policy, we celebrate it, but there is no implementation. What could be the costs on governance? And do you think it makes sense to rather wait for an accident to happen? Remember the most recent one that we had.
The one?
No, there was a more recent one. This gas explosion.
Exactly, yes.
And before then we've had the pipeline explosion.
We've had more in the past few years, 1 year, 2 years. We have more than 20 explosions.
So
we have a lot of them.
What are we waiting for? What could be the potential costs on governance?
Let me go this way. Let me start this way. In Lagos State alone, I think January 2020 or so, the Lagos State government told us that they lost 9 billion naira to fire accidents.
Wait, fire burnt 1 billion naira? What?
No. As in, the cost of what fire burnt, the properties that was burnt, a lot of things are happening that has to do with loss of properties. The amount that was lost to fire, not fire burnt 9 billion naira. No,
I was just trying to be cheeky.
So 9 billion naira was lost to fire accidents.
9 billion.
That is in Lagos State alone, and that is about fire accident alone. There are a lot of safety issues that we need to talk about. But when you talk about the cost of accidents, you can't quantify. You can't give a value. But trust me, billions and billions and billions, even to something as little as stress. Apart of safety, we have what we call stress management. To something as little as stress, if a company fails to manage stress, mental health, and safety in the workplace, it costs them money, because when workers are not that effective due to mental stress, there's a drop down in productivity.
Yeah.
And when there's drop down in productivity, the aims and objectives that the company wants to achieve won't be achieved. So there's a drop down of productivity result when it comes to stress. So stress management is another part. So something as little as stress also costs the government money.
I'm surprised that you said that stress is little in a place like Lagos where everybody is stressed. So let's start from there before we go into occupational hazard. Okay. Let's talk about this stress and mental health. What can companies do? And by saying companies, we're talking about big organizations as well as SMEs. Earlier on the show today, we're talking about honesty and some Nigerians steal. And some of them say it's because their bosses don't treat them well and they're not well paid. So they need to make ends meet by stealing some of the stuff in those companies. So it appears that there is an abusive relationship in the workspace where some, SMEs, especially culprits, can pay you whatever they want. I mean, the pay is low, and people. Did you see the Secure Ikoyi documentary that was shown? I think that was last week, about people hanging around Banana Island. We discovered that most of them come from far away places. They can't go back home because of traffic, so they hang around. So there's this traffic-related stress. There's this work-related stress. Do you think that the employer should be the one helping me resolve that?
Definitely. A player has a responsibility when it comes to your health and safety. Nigeria is ratified with ILO, International Labour Organization, and there are regulations that are established. There is standard for working hours when you're working in the workplace. But we have a situation whereby our work hours have been extended, and this leads to work stress. On an average human spends 90,000 hours in the workplace for work. 90,000 hours. I want to ask you a question. How many hours do you think you spend in traffic on average? I want to give you a little cost implication of that. How many hours do you think you spend on a day in traffic?
Myself?
Yes.
I don't spend so much anymore.
Okay.
Before now, I used to spend on a daily about 7 hours.
In traffic?
Yes. 3 hours to come.
We are losing money.
It's not just money, it's life. I could practically feel my life ebbing away.
Exactly. So, let's say, 9 hours in a day. Let's say we work for let me put 5 hours in a day. Let's say you work for 20 days. That's 100 hours in a month. In a year, we have 1,200 and in 2 years we have 2,400. So that figure is enough to build it. Is enough that hour, because in the work climb we have working hours.
Yeah.
That working hour, that 2,400 is enough. Is enough to build a 3 or 4 bedroom flat. That is the people that will do the work. So imagine losing that kind of money to traffic on the road. So when it comes to I part of what I do safety advocacy, safety talk, and I used to host on Instagram mental health and safety with I and my colleague Bumi Omike. We discuss about health and safety in the workplace, mental health specifically, because it's a very serious aspect that we need to talk about. The employer has a lot of responsibility to take. Part of those things that needs to be addressed, that is being advocated for, is what we call mental health first aid clinic. That is a separate clinic. The same way we have first aid for injuries, for physical injuries, there should be a first aid for mental health, because a lot of issues happen that has to do with the workplace, or that has to do with because we have a personal life. For example, someone whose child just died, or someone who, because even in this, let me put it, situation we have now in Nigeria now, where there are a lot of issues that's happening, this mental effect, this psychological effect. And maybe the issue of COVID-19, someone just lost a family to COVID, and you expect him to be productive at work the same way it used to be. It's not possible. Yeah. So there has to be a separate mental health first aid clinic that is being advocated for now, that will address mental health issues. Your workers, there has to be a close relationship between the employer and the worker, to understand that it's not only about physical hazard. We have mental hazard in the workplace, work-related stress. Your workers can be stressed, being overused. You need to regulate how your workers do their work, and how you create that confidence in them to be able to be sure that yes, our employer really cares about them. So all these establishments are important. If the employer cannot do it alone, that's why he has the HR.
Yeah.
The human resource to be able to engage safety consultant to, okay, how do we put this in place? There are issues of hostility at work. There are behavioral based safety issues in the workplace. There are abuses. There are people committing suicide.
Yeah.
All these things has to do with the psychological, mental well-being. There has to be training. There has to be a lot of training for employers, for employees, to know how to address it, because it is now a norm, and it's not a norm. When something that is not a norm becomes abnormal, and when something that is not a norm becomes normal, then there is need for a training to change the mindset of people.
Yeah.
So mental health is a very important aspect of safety that we need to talk about.
Right, let's move on to occupational hazards. And usually the idea is occupational. Once you hear occupational hazard, you think factory. You think heavy machinery, you think accidents could only happen in those spaces, but that's not true, right?
That's not true. Accident happens at home, accident happens on the road, and accident happen in the workplace. There are a lot of the only difference is that the level of risk is different. The severity of an hazard is different in each environment. But in the workplace, where we have a lot of people working for a purpose to achieve their aim, most times they are being maltreated and misused. We have people that have had their hands got injured, permanent disabilities, and they are being paid peanuts. They are being paid peanuts for as compensation. And these are part of the things. The first thing is to prevent the accident from happening in the first place. So there are regulations that, like I told you, there are a lot of documentation issues, a lot of documentation procedures that have been established for employers to take responsibility of the health and safety of workers in the workplace. So when this is not being done, then that's why we have accident happening. So you see some companies, they have a good design. You see them, they have good policies, they have good safety management system in place. Everything is beautiful. But when it comes to implementation, you go in depth, you see that no. Workers are really are not being treated well, or the procedures that they said they want to follow in doing a job is not being followed. So hazards are everywhere. I want us to know that hazards are everywhere. There's no place where there's no hazard, but the level of risk it poses is different. Like I said, it's not only in the workplace that we have hazards, even at home.
Yeah.
Let me give you an example. Like people believe that whatever wants to happen will happen.
Whatever will be.
Whatever will be. and really change our mindset. Let me give you an example. This wise man, in, someone came, those days came to meet him, and the person brought out, and it was like, whatever we happen. When I said no,
Yes, sir.
As low as possible.
Well, how does 50 naira for an hour sound?
50 naira for 1 hour? Ha! Talk true.
Yes, with Glow YouTube plan, you can stream all your favorite YouTube videos.
You too can enjoy this amazing offer with Paradise Court. Hurry now and be a proud owner of your 3-bed duplex opposite Chevron Drive to begin your journey of living a life of comfort. Call 0814-990-6681.
Before now, getting a good HMO that works perfectly for my staff was a lot of hassle. Many HMOs come with cumbersome registration. It gets worse when my staff come back to complain about the terrible service they get from these HMOs. I decided to give Reliance HMO a try based on glowing recommendations I received from my HR colleagues, and I was not disappointed. I was able to register all 100 staff in 5 minutes. I have access to a 24-hour responsive helpline and an account manager that helps me with any issue. My staff raved about the premium service they receive from Reliance HMO. They especially love the access to gym, spa, dental care, and the hospital roaming. I no longer worry myself about issues concerning HMO. Reliance HMO does that for me. I will recommend them any day.
Visit reliancehmo.com/corporate or call 0700-7354-2623 to get a quote for your company and start enjoying reliable healthcare today. Reliance HMO. You can rely on us.
Let's take you to the world where the future is safe, where you can make your dreams happen day by day. Don't live your life to chasing destiny.
assistance. Donate online via zakat.unhcr.org/ng or Standard Chartered account name UNHCR Special Account with account number 000-270-6104.
Life is for the living, so be careful what you're giving. Wash your hands and keep your distance. Give life a fighting chance. Wear your nose mask on your faces. Stay away from crowded places. Keep your surroundings clean. Maintain good hygiene. Keeping hands from touching faces. Love our loved ones, friends, and family. Stay alert and stay alive. Join the fight to save the world so we stay alive. This message is from the University of Lagos Center for Housing and Sustainable Development, sponsored by the Arts and Humanities Research Council, United.
You can FaceTime me on the go. Baby, I got you.
In 300 meters, turn right.
You know you can call me on the phone. Baby, I got you.
In 40 meters, make a left turn.
Oh, baby. You can reach me overseas, my dear. Whether for love,
You have arrived at the Glow World Smartphone Festival. Congratulations!
baby, I got you.
Welcome to Glow World, the one place everyone is going to enjoy the best deals with the Glow Smartphone Festival data plans. Get up to 12 gigabytes for 6 months on all smartphone purchases. Also get amazing gifts like headsets, Bluetooth speakers, backpacks, and so much more on select smartphones. Offer valid till the 30th of April 2021. T&Cs apply.
Glow Unlimited. In the information era, facts, events, and news are available at the click of a button. The information flow is enormous, which makes the financial markets unpredictable. As a trader, you need to have a strategy, and most importantly, you need a trustworthy partner that will simplify things for you. Hot Forex is serious about its responsibilities to you. With its origin dating back to 2010, we are a multi-regulated broker with over 2 million live accounts, wide global presence, more than 35 international awards, tight spreads, multiple assets, reliable fast execution, technological innovation, and multiple account types. The Hot Forex team is always ready to deliver trading services and free trading education that you can rely on every time. And this is not just a mission, it's a promise. Visit the Hot Forex Educational Centers at 3rd floor, Warala House, 90 Island Avenue, Ikeja, Lagos, or call 0908-517-6394 or visit www.hotforex.com. Hot Forex, for traders that want more.
Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum salam. Rama. You just dey come. Me, I don't break my fast though. With the food, where they give us for here. In fact, now so queue with you before we collect ham.
So, all this stress on top say you want collect fruit for breaking fast. No worry yourself, because we don't get get fruit from Adron Homes. You remember I tell you about the Ramadan promo? You sef fit benefit from Adron Ramadan promo package. With chicken money like 25,000 naira initial deposit, you go get food pack or shopping voucher and even spread the payment within 24 months. You no finish for there. For every land where you buy, you sef go collect gift. If you can't pay 1 million, you go collect food pack, bag of rice, goat, and even shopping voucher. Take joy body. Waiting you they wait for. Oh yeah, sharply go Adron Homes, make you sef benefit from the Ramadan promo. For more Tori, make you call us for 0803-556-4317 or 0802-325-5398.
This is Morning Crossfire on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
And we are back, 99.3 Nigeria Info. Today is World Safety and Health Day, and we're having a conversation around safety and health at work and at home. I see a Comment on Facebook. We're going to open the phone lines before we go to the practical steps you can take both at work and at home to have safety. We're going to open the phone lines and get your response and comments on our conversation so far. If you've been listening, the number to call is 0700 993 993 993. And you can also join us if you're female by calling 0146 57190. 0146 57190. If you're tweeting, use the hashtag Nigeria Info MCF so I can see your comments. And I'm right now on Twitter. Let's see. Joy Forever here says, Wemimo commuting to and from work in Lagos is one of the greatest occupational hazards. People leave home early. I left my house at 4. Get home late. No, I don't get home late. Says mentally most workers are drained, making them less productive, loss of concentration, making them accident and injury prone. And you're very right.
True.
You're very, very right. Okay, let me read some of the comments on our Facebook Live. If you're not on Facebook, go there and read some of the comments. Thank you all. Thank you all for enjoying the show. Kolawale Abajobi says, good morning all. If safety is important, why are buildings coming down in Lagos all the time? To me, there's no regulation, and if there is, there's no enforcement. Bolao, excuse me, Bolao Enoch says his solution, that's your solution, to make companies pay for their bottle seem very wrong. He says for him, it is on the people, should be on the people. I will hardly drink bottled water and throw it on the ground. If everyone can do that, then there will be great reduction in waste.
Yeah, to a good extent. But the issue is, if you're talking about waste management, that's another discussion on its own. Because everybody has a responsibility. Even the company has a responsibility. Individual has a responsibility. The government has a responsibility. So in the side of individuals, it is not right for you to. There are sometimes. Yesterday when I was going home, after I broke my fast, I drank 2
sachet.
No, 2 table waters because I was really drained, and I left it in my bag. I couldn't, even though it was at night, I couldn't. That mindset wasn't there. Just drop it on the ground. I dropped it in my bag, and when I got home, I drop it where we should put our waste. Yes, it is very true. But at the same time, there are different places where different people use these plastic bottles. So as an individual, we need that awareness. That is why we're talking about this. And on the government side, there should be provision of proper waste management system.
Recycling.
Yeah, recycling is another aspect.
Yeah, plastic does not go away.
Yeah, it takes more than 100 years to degrade. So recycling, there should be there are a lot of younger business experts that are recycling these materials, but they don't have enough capital to be able to carry out these industrial use of these plastics. So governments who are deciding to empower people, those who are managing this waste, who are recycling this waste, and even for the normal waste that are available. If you go to an example, if you go to Relay, for example, if you see the drainage system, they're very, very bad. Another thing I forgot to add is that when you have this logged water, gutters, stagnant waters, it also is a breeding home for mosquitoes.
It is.
And that is another aspect where people fall sick every day and they spend money to treat malaria. And there is lost time at work also, because someone who's supposed to be at work is falling sick because of malaria that is caused by gutters that is being caused by plastic. So there is a trend.
Absolutely.
So everybody has a responsibility. So saying that it is wrong, it is not wrong, because these people, if you know, there was time that we were producing bottle of very, I think 25 cl. It doesn't make it to me. It doesn't make any sense. It should be the way it goes is reduce, reuse, and recycle. So we need to reduce the way we use plastic, and the companies too has a responsibility. So if you are making 50 cl bottle, what of the big one that will take more time before someone consumes it? And if that policy is in place, these people are seeing money. It costs them nothing to make that plastic available. Assuming that we know then before plastic came in, we used to use the bottle.
Yeah,
glass bottle. There's the way they recycle the bottle because it costs them money. But this one not recycling because it's cost, maybe I don't know, maybe
it's cheaper.
It's cheaper to get it and to make it, because there's the way they mold it to fit it in the filler. So maybe I don't go 5 I want, but if do it and government
And glass bottle. The glass. When you want to buy another crate, you take your crate, you swap it.
there's people that do this as a job. They
Yes.
these companies
Yes.
and give these companies. If government should say, okay, you are going to pay 120 or 100 naira for one plastic that we bring to you, they will be happy to employ someone that they will be paying 20 naira to bring those bottles back, those material back to them.
They can even reward their customers who return the bottles to them.
Yeah, those are the things that need to be put in, and it's not only about carbonated drinks. So it's not
Yeah.
about even all these packaging materials for food that they used to buy food. All those soft ones too. It's everywhere.
That because it's what we do. Take away, please.
Take away, thank you. It's everywhere. If you go to standard eateries, they will give you a
Foil paper.
take away plate that is as good as having a plate at home.
Yeah.
And when you are going next time to buy food in that kind of eatery, they will still give you another one. Why can't you take that other one and they will compensate you for bringing it back? These are ways we reduce
And you know, it has
plastic.
become fashionable for you to, it's fashionable. Imagine going to the eatery with plates. You know, who does that?
But the plate you are taking is not just any plate. It's the plate that the eatery gave you.
It doesn't matter. I need to get a new one and pay.
And then if they can't do that, then they should employ people to do that for them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that we
Let's
need
talk
to
about
reduce
some
this
tips, for employers who are listening to the show to create a safe space for their workers, both mentally and to also avoid occupational hazards.
waste. You see?
That's sigh, man.
Yeah, because on a daily, based on research, more than 6,300 people die on a daily basis to occupational hazards.
What?
On a daily.
Die?
Yeah, death.
Like not get hurt?
Fatality.
Whoa.
And we have, based on non-fatality, those who don't die, we have about more than 370 million people who get injured or affected with diseases in the workplace.
Whoa.
So globally, not Nigeria.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Must not be.
Yeah. So it means that there's urgent need to address this thing. It's a global pandemic. It's not until it's coronavirus. No, now I think last 2 days the total record of death last 2 days globally was not up to 1,000. But this is a record of.
You mean in Nigeria?
No, the world.
1,000 deaths?
Was it up to 1,000?
It's more. Even in Nigeria, it's more now.
Death.
Yeah, death.
1,000 deaths.
1,062.
COVID-19.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Sorry for that.
In Nigeria.
I thought I saw it. I saw a figure this morning based on what statistics.
Oh,
Maybe
no.
I got it somewhere.
In fact, China has had over 200,000.
Wow, 200,000 in a day.
Not in a day. Are you talking about in a day, or overall?
Overall, I mean in last 2 days.
Oh, in the last 2 days. Okay, I know. I don't know about.
Yeah, last 2 days the death was not up to 1,000.
It must be more because India has been really.
Yeah. I got a figure of around 700 and something. So I was just being mindful. That's why I said 1,000.
Okay.
But we have occupational hazard, inclusive of COVID, that is giving us 6,300
a day.
So it means that this is a greater pandemic,
and
urgent. See, and prevention is better than cure.
Absolutely.
We know that. So prevention is the first thing. Let us prevent this from happening. So everybody has a responsibility. Even I don't know the name to call TV presentation, radio presentation,
broadcasting.
Broadcasting. Thank you. You also have a responsibility because this is where the awareness comes into play.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah. But we need it to be more frequent.
There you go. You go.
Not about me. Even if it's you, there should be a delegation for safety awareness to people. Let people be conscious about health and safety. Talk about health and safety tips. So these tips are very important because there was a day I was doing safety broadcast in public transport, like all these downfall coastal bus.
You are doing safety evangelism.
Yeah, I do that once in a while. Though I do safety evangelism normally, but this one inside the public transport.
You got up and you spoke to everybody in the bus.
Yeah, the way we were talking about, the way they used to talk about
come and buy this.
Yeah, I did that.
Oh my God.
videos on my, yeah, on my YouTube. The videos on my YouTube.
Who filmed you?
Yeah, I get actually when I sat down, I came there early. What they do is that when you go there, you go to a new bus that is not filled yet. Then you tell the driver you want to talk. Then I saw a lady actually.
Did you pay to do that?
No, she did, though I paid for transport anyway, but we didn't talk about money. I just gave her, please, I want to talk, please, can you help me to just film me? And she was like, no problem. And I gave it to her. I know you ladies are very generous. At least of the guy say, bros, are you okay? Don't
Let's
mind
get
me.
on to those tips so we can take some calls.
Yeah. Number one, like I said, prevention is the first thing. I wanted to use that as an analysis. When I asked the woman in the public transport, I asked them in the public transport, I told them, if your electric your appliance, your socket gets brings up fire, what do you do? The woman said, I will pour water. I said, the awareness is not there. So water, because they don't know. So these things are part of the tips we need to give for electrical safety in your home, your appliances. Before it gets to the stage where it brings up fire, make sure you inspect them. Your irons, you are using your iron now, and you are feeling some electric shock that you are receiving. You are receiving electric shock from it, or your electric cooker at home, you are receiving some mild shock.
Don't manage it.
Don't manage it. You repair it. There was an accident that I investigated in our community that the whole house got burnt from gas fire. And what happened? They had the burner that they were using got spoiled. So the tip where the gas comes from is not tight. So instead of it costing maybe 1,500 or 2,000 to repair, they're like, we'll do it tomorrow. So the first tip is that don't manage whatever you think is going to give you an issue. So now, at the end of the day, the child wanted to cook at night.
Yes.
Yeah, they've been using it. Then it starts, sometimes it's always good to have self ignition. But some people we need to start using our match. So the first time she used the match, it didn't. He has already switched it on.
Yeah.
And I used to tell people, if you want to use your electric, if you have to use the manual type, you first lit the fire first
before you open
the gas. So, but the girl did the other way. So
the gas was already in the air.
Already there. Then everywhere it was a serious, and that was part one of it. So now, when that happened, the man was like, water. You don't use water to extinguish a gas fire. Don't use water. As the man poured water, the fire erupted. It increased. Now that's number two. The third time they have this maybe a little study that if you put something, you use something to cover fire, the fire will go off. Then they went to take a plastic drum, and they dropped the
plastic drum.
Yeah, plastic drum. They used it to cover it. Meanwhile, there was still spaces inside. And I don't know, the plastic drum, the tip was not even.
Yeah.
And before they know it, after some time, the plastic too.
It will melt.
It will not only melt, also hit fire. The fire became so serious. Because some people used to in our neighborhood, they know me to do safety broadcast. So they came from, and it was even last year fasting period. It's a year now, and they came to me. But Ali, this had happened. What my airports? I said, me. Am I fire emergency? And that's another aspect. Our fire emergency system is still poor in Nigeria, and that's government's responsibility. If you look at, we have records of market fires. If you look at, there was a time maybe last year, upper year, they were continuous.
Incessant.
Yeah, it was continuous fire acts, and I get to understand. I get to imagine that the government needs to, when you see something occurring, put things in place. There need to be a structure during the design. That's government responsibility. If you want to design a marketplace, they have to be safety experts to tell them this is how you should safely design the market. Not just people randomly at everywhere where they are doing a lot of work, cooking. And at the end of the day, the fire and millions and billions of naira gets burnt to fire. So the government has the responsibility to make sure that at design stage, that's also applied responsibility, but government needs to enforce it. So at the design stage, let us know your design. Your design must be safety compliant. You need to have access to every part of the market. In case fire comes from anywhere, we'll be able to handle it.
And a well-planned exit.
A well-planned exit and a muster. Even it's not too bad when a market has a muster point and the whole market people know that this is where our muster point is.
Yeah.
It can get to that level. Everything has to be organized. So
Right.
there are responsibilities that goes to everyone. So the fire happened and everywhere. So at the end of the day, we were able to extinguish the fire, and I was able to educate those that were there. So when it comes out about fire safety, not only electrical, your gas cooker, but normal, your home is sleep. We've seen people that die because they slept on the floor. You have a wet floor, maybe you are cleaning. Tell your kids not to come in at that time.
Yeah.
Some people, and there are other things too. There are issue of chemical combination. Because, for example, you want to clean your toilet now, you're like, if I had hypo and
No, don't
bleach.
mention the names.
Oh, sorry.
Mhm.
No, nothing bad about them individually. Nothing bad about them
Yeah, no,
individually.
but we're not doing free marketing
Yeah,
here.
sorry, I did a mistake. Okay, if I use I don't know what the original did come there, but there's some chemical combination. Like if I use a bleach and
I mix two types of
two
bleach.
that are chemically combination wise, they are volatile. You know, they have issues of people
Because
who,
you want your toilet
to be
sparkling white.
sparkling. And at the end of the day, you end up because fumes are being generated and you end up choking yourself. So you don't mix chemicals together. Some people they place their materials. There was a time where we were very young. It happened.
Let's be quick with this.
Yeah,
my time
yeah.
goes.
It happened to us. Our little brother was sitting and we placed hot water. And as a little child still crawling, they drag everything they see.
Yeah.
So you need to place all these things away from the reach of children. So
Absolutely.
you are putting a chemical inside a plastic, label them
and put it out of reach.
Put it out of reach.
I don't put it in fancy bottles where kids can
Well,
think it's
thank
either
you.
water
yeah,
or
another
a
angle I
drink.
was coming from. So when you put in the fancy bottle, they think that it is just drink. So these are little things that people should know, but subconsciously accident still happens.
Our time is unfortunately up. I don't know where it ran to. What's a social media handle? I'm sure people want to talk to you. The lines are buzzing, but I can't take any call right now.
Yeah, on my YouTube channel is Safety World together.
Safety World.
Safety World. Yeah, that is my YouTube channel.
Okay.
You will see a lot of health and safety videos.
Twitter, Instagram.
Yeah, Twitter at Cordar Safety.
Okay.
Yeah, my Instagram handle is also Safety World.
Safety
But they
World.
can type Waliola. That is my name that I use because the name of my podcast is Safety Moment with Waliola. So
All right, I
they
need to
can
go
just-
now because
okay.
of time. So check him out on social media. We're about to play just a minute so you can get my 10,000 naira. I hope you're waiting for that. But thank you very much for coming on the
Thank
show
you,
today. I'm
thank
sure
you.
you guys have learned a lot. Implement what you
Implementation,
heard.
very important.
Right. After the break, just a minute. Please win my 10,000 naira. Okay, please, I'm begging you.
I can also win it. Abi.
No.
Do you earn an income? Are you in need of funds for your child's school fees? Is your car or equipment old and needs a replacement? Do you need a loan for personal or business use? Whatever your business or personal need, CreditVille has got you covered. Simply dial
07000 330 330.
You can also send us an email via info@creditville.ng or log on to www.creditville.ng. CreditVille, financing you for a good life.
All right, Nigeria, who wants my money? Please win my money. I've got 10,000 naira up for grabs. Answer as many questions. My questions will be very simple, therefore, from our conversation today. So answer as many as you can. Okay, and you can get my 10,000 naira. So mini, money more. I'm just going to grab a number at random. Okay, here we go. Let's see who's here. Good morning.
Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Please put up your radio.
My radio is off.
No, it's not.
It's off. I'm not with radio.
Okay. What's your name?
My name is Joy.
I feel it. There's a hall back somewhere. I can hear myself. I don't know what you're
Joy,
doing.
Joy.
Joy. All right. Are you ready to play just a minute?
Yes.
Stay on the line.
This is Just a Minute.
All right, Joy, your time starts now. What is my topic on Morning Crossfire today?
Honesty.
No, on the last hour that we just finished.
Skip.
All right. How many people were killed at the IDP camp recently?
20 people.
Wrong. The president is seeking foreign aid from which country?
From US.
Correct. The House of Reps is demanding what on security?
Who? I can't hear. Please come again.
What is the House of Reps asking or demanding on security?
Skip.
All right. The kidnapped students in Kaduna have been kidnapped for how many days now?
14 days.
Wrong. 47. There's curfew in Rivers State. It's from what time to what time?
From 6 a.m. to 12. to 6 a.m.
Wrong. It's 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. Let me give you a final one because of time. Let me see this one. So I need you to win this thing. Okay. Which governor lambasted President Buhari on insecurity? You got 2 questions correctly. Please stay on the line. Let's get your details.
Okay.
Okay. She got 2 questions correctly. She might just be in luck. Maybe nobody will get up to 2 questions later on today. But I need to go, guys. Thank you very much for hanging out with me at the Morning Crossfire since 5 a.m. We've got lots more coming up for you on the show today. Jimmy Disu is back in here after the news on the hour at 9 and the Daily Digest. After that, it's WhatsApp Lagos with the Tech Airs. We've got much more throughout the day. I'm on social media at Webby Sport. Let's keep talking there. Have yourselves a fabulous day.
Do you need to meet up your goals for the year? Then here's the good news. Goals are easily achieved by choosing Creditsville as a reliable credit assistance. Creditsville is accessible and reliable at all times. With Creditsville, interest rates are affordable, repayment plan is flexible, disbursement is